ng dating, ang lakas ng ganyan. Sino siya pag nakitang bumiling, talagang manggigigil ka.
Hi guys, I want to talk about Egypt today, and as you know, if you're from my old channel before my channel got hacked, you know I used to talk about Egypt a lot. So I've been to Egypt many times, and I love Egypt, and I love to talk about Egypt. And so today this is an Egyptian video. If you're new to these videos, I used to talk about Egypt all the time. So this is something new to you if you've never seen me before. But okay. In the past, and whenever I would release a Egypt video, it would be a lot of drama on those videos, a lot of drama, a lot of arguing, a lot of calling me names, just, you know, it would just be a lot of drama, a lot of emotions running high on the Egyptian videos. So what I want to discuss about on this Egyptian video is what we always talk about: who were the ancient Egyptians, who built the pyramids and stuff like that. When I first made the Egyptian videos, okay, I used to be married to an Egyptian guy, and I used to go to Egypt all the time because I used to, you know, I still live in Florida, but I used to go over to Egypt back and forth and stuff like that. So I made those videos, and he's a white Egyptian. I'm still friends with him and everything else. I'm not married to him anymore, but I'm still friends. So if he's watching, hey, what's up? What I want to say is that, okay, I don't believe that the ancient Egyptians were black. I think that the ancient Egyptians that built the pyramids were white. Okay, the reason why I'm picking up where I left off on that drama-filled conversation is because I was discussing about this with someone else, and we came to a conclusion that certain things are not possible for the ancient Egyptians to have been black. For example, I used to get people that would contact me and they would say the DNA code was E1B1 and it matches African Americans. And they kept on bringing up E1B1, the DNA code, and all this. I know it by heart because so many people would write to me about E1B1, which is some type of DNA code that supposedly traces from King Tut onto African Americans. Now, African Americans come from West Africa. Egypt is in North Africa, and there's Nubians there. But from when I saw the Nubians, they come from Sudan. And they don't look anything like African Americans at all. They look nothing like African Americans. So it's hard for me to accept that E1B1 is the same for African Americans. I don't care who wrote it. I'm just looking at visuals and using circular reasoning and common sense. They don't look the same, so that means that they're most likely not the same. They don't act the same. They don't look the same. They don't have anything going on that's similar with each other. The Nubians have a certain kind of look. They look more like a European kind of look. I know that there was a lot of race mixing over there with Arabs. But and of course in America there's white race mixing and a very small amount of Native American mixing. Some black people like to think Native Americans mix like wildfire with black people, but it's very rare. I watched a documentary and they said it, and it's several people that have watched the documentary as well. I'm not going to get into that, but most black people that claim to be Native American don't even have any Native American DNA. So the amount of Native American DNA in an African American is very small, and they don't look like Nubians at all. But what I want to say, okay, let's talk about this. I don't want to talk about the E1B1. I've discussed it enough on my old videos, and you know, it doesn't make sense to me. If you have the same DNA code, you would look similar to the people that you're supposed to be connected to. And I could probably go to a crowd like a Martin Luther King festival, and I could look at all the people there, and they would not look like a single Nubian in Egypt. Okay, so please stop it with the E1B1 connection. Whoever wrote it was probably just making it up. Okay, now let's say, for example, okay, now the Egyptians were known to have high intelligence. They built the pyramids and all kinds of mysteries, and they had surgery, plastic surgery back then. They had all kinds of really incredible things that I don't even want to get into and mention, that people can't figure out how they made it, how things were done. Okay, it even puzzles people to this day. Scientists can't even figure out how the pyramids were made. Okay, so let me say this, okay, and I don't want to offend black people, because I'm not saying this to be hurtful, and I'm not saying this to be offensive, but what I'm going to say is that black people don't have the same IQ as white people. Black people have a lower IQ, which is around 80. A white person's IQ is around 100. So if you claim to be this E1B1 from Egypt, how come your IQ is not the same as a white person? Why is it a different IQ? This is just for questioning. So I'm just asking a question. That's all. I'm not saying this to get anyone mad at me. I'm not trying to cause an argument. So don't start contacting me and saying, take that wig off, or you're ugly, or whatever. I don't feel like going into personal attacks. I'm asking a question. As I consider myself a truther, I like to know the truth about the world. So I'm just simply trying to get to the bottom of this. Okay, if you're contacting me and saying that you are the E1B1s, then how come your IQ is so low? If you are from the E1B1s, then wouldn't your IQ be at least 100 collectively? Okay, that's the number one question. Why is your IQ not the same as the ancient Egyptians, which would have probably been way over 100 if they made those pyramids? Okay, now the second thing is, if you claim to be the people that made the pyramids, why is it, and this is not to make anyone mad, I repeat, because I don't want a whole bunch of drama on my channel. I just want to ask some serious questions and have some serious conversation, intelligent, stimulating conversation in the comment section. I don't feel like going on a war of words against my makeup or my wig or my eyelashes or whatever. I don't feel like personal attacks. The question is this: if you claim to be of the E1B1, why is it that in Africa no one has their own car company? No one has developed their own car. Like, for example, in America, the white guys, they have Ford, they have Chevrolet, they have Chrysler. Okay, in Asia, they have Honda, they have Toyota. Okay, so they make their own cars. How come the E1B1s don't make their own cars if you are from the people that made the pyramids? Also, if you are the people that made the pyramids, how come you don't make your own airplanes? The white guys got Boeing and McDonnell Douglas. I'm not sure what the Asian people have, what type of airplanes they make. And also the white guys got Airbus. Okay, and that was from the Wright brothers, white guys. If you are the E1B1s, how come you don't have your own airplanes? How come you don't make your own airplanes in Africa? And don't say the white man is holding you down, because don't give me that shit, because of the simple fact that these black guys bounce basketballs and they make $10 million a year or something like that. I don't know how much. I'm not a basketball fan. I don't know how much the basketballers make, but they make up in the millions. The footballers, they make millions. Okay, if you can make all those millions with your athletic ability, don't tell me that the white man is holding you down from making designing a car or designing an airplane. Okay, so you would still be able to use your intelligence to make something great. How come you don't make your own computers? I mean, for example, the white guys got Hewlett Packard, they got Microsoft, they got Dell. The Asian guys got Sony, Toshiba. Okay, so I'm asking you the tough questions. So don't start coming at me and talking about my physical appearance, okay, and talking about how ugly I am. Okay, I don't want to hear that, because I can already tell every time I ask you the tough questions, you always get mad and you get emotional, and you like a little monkey just banging on the keys, just, you're ugly, so what, you're ugly, you got a wig on. I already know how you act when you get emotional about somebody telling you about Egypt. So don't start that up. Let's just have an intelligent adult conversation, and let's talk about why you don't have those things. See, the reason why I get so angry at you is because when I try to talk truthfully and I try to get to the bottom of things that go on in the world, then you start talking that stupid shit to me and you start attacking my physical appearance. So I am just asking questions like any intelligent person would. I'm just asking the questions, and I want a reasonable discussion, okay, from the people that really like this channel. I want a reasonable discussion. I don't want to make anybody mad. This is not about black people being stupid. This is about who were the ancient Egyptians. Okay, if you weren't the ancient Egyptians, that's nothing to be mad about. You just weren't the ancient Egyptians. We can still be friends. We can still have a good time together. It's just that I personally do not feel a connection to the ancient Egyptians because I don't belong to that part of the world. Okay, so that's what I want to say. So we have to just have a reasonable discussion, and we have to have an intelligent discussion, and we have to still be friends at the end of the video. If you are an intelligent, well-spoken human being. So that's all for now. Bye.